Hey everybody, I'm Dan from the Rock Nerd Radio Show, and sweet Christmas do I have a great episode in store for you today. We're doing another Which Is Better, continuing the look at all the figures from this latest Midnight Suns Mindless One Build-A-Figure wave. We're going to look at the brand new Luke Cage figure, Powerman, and I'm going to compare him with the only other Powerman that I have left in my collection, the Luke Cage Powerman that came in the Defenders 4-pack that was an Amazon exclusive. So let's get into it and figure out which one's better.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
As always, my first round on Which Is Better is about the paint and overall appearance of the figures, and we'll look at the Defenders box set Luke Cage first. Now, it does need to be noted that this Luke Cage is a repaint of the Luke Cage that was done in a San Diego Comic-Con Thunderbolt exclusive set. This is missing some paint apps, like the original one had like a Thunderbolts logo on his shoulders that this one does not have, and I think he had black pants, whereas this one does have the kind of navy blue pants. But this represents more of just an everyday modern Luke Cage. Our Midnight Suns one obviously representing the classic original Powerman look of Luke Cage. Now the biggest thing that kind of sets me off on this one is that although our Midnight Sun one has a very unique head, there are these, you can see here, there's this gap between the vest and the arm, and it kind of, for me, it really breaks up the look of the figure. And I also feel like his hands are really small when he's standing there. Like, they look very, very tiny. Obviously, this buck is a little larger on my Defenders 4-pack one, but the hands on this one look small. I don't like the missing paint app. I feel like they just could have painted it yellow or something, or made the vest a little tighter. That gap really is throwing me off whenever you kind of look at him on the side. So because of that, the paint and overall appearance round is going to go to our Defenders box set Luke Cage. Just because, you know, the yellow is even throughout. It does look like just a yellow painted shirt, although there isn't any molding. So that's why he wins this round. That brings us to round 2, which is about the articulation. And this Defenders box set Luke Cage has quite a nice amount of articulation. First off, his head can look up and down because it is on a ball joint that moves. So, of course, his head gets some wiggle waggle in there. He does have some nice ab crunch, which allows him to go forward that far and back that far, which does look a little unnatural, I'll say. But, of course, there is swivel down at the waist as well. His arms can go all the way around. They can go up that far, and there is twist here at the bicep. Double jointed elbow. It's not pinless, not that that's a deal breaker. The gauntlets on his arms get a little bit in the way of having like a real deep elbow crunch, but still looks good. Of course, his hands can spin, and they do swivel left and right, you know, forward and back, however you want to call that. Going down to his legs, we do have leg articulation. Legs can kick out that far, go back just about that far. They can kick out as well. There is rotation at the thigh, goes all the way around. Double jointed knee, so you can get some deep bend. There is boot cut as well, so there is rotation there. There is also articulation at the ankle. There's pivot. And of course, the ankles go up and down. So pretty standard articulation for what you'd expect from a Marvel Legends. Looks pretty good overall. With the new Luke Cage, we have a lot of what I just mentioned, but we're missing some things. So, you know, the head can crouch up and down. And of course, it is on a ball joint, so you can make it move all around. The arms, just like the other one, can go all the way around. They can go up about that far or out that far. Rotation here at the bicep, double jointed elbow, pinless, so there is that. The hands can rotate fully around, and they can move in and out. The body is where it's different. There's no abdomen section like cut, so he's basically, I think he's on what they call an inverted ball joint here at his waist. That I feel like we don't get a lot of movement out of it. Like there is some back and forth, and of course you can twist him and kind of pose him up, but I feel like it's kind of tight. I feel like the jacket is to blame for that. So a little lacking in his abdomen. Legs go forward, go out. There is rotation at the thigh. Double jointed knee, pinless again. And what I was super surprised, there is no boot cut on this. It looks like there should be and could be. And either the boots on mine are just super stuck, but it seems like there's no boot cut. Ankles go up and down, and of course there are ankle rockers as well, which covers the articulation on our new Luke Cage. So just standing them next to each other once again, although this buck is a little outdated, I feel like it has more articulation to it. There are the boot cuts that this one does not have, and I feel like we get better movement in the torso as opposed to this one. So round 2 goes to my Defenders box set, Luke Cage. Round 3 is about the accessories that these figures come with, and my Defenders box set, Luke Cage, came with no other accessories. What you see on the figure right now is what you get. I suppose you could argue that you could pull off these gauntlets or something, but they're on the figure. I don't count them as additional accessories because they're not really interchangeable parts. So what you see with him is what you get. The Mindless One Build-A-Figure Wave Luke Cage comes with 2 accessories that are just additional hands. This is becoming very common in Marvel Legends just to have additional hands so you can swap out his fists. Of course, it is very easy. You just pull and then pop in the open hand if that is what you desire. And, you know, this could be a grabbing hand, a reaching hand. You know, you could kind of grab somebody and then punch him with another hand, something like that. So, yeah, these hands look pretty cool. It's nice to have the option. Interchangeable hands aren't always my favorite, but because the other Luke Cage came with no other additional accessories, our new one wins by default. Let's talk about price and availability for round 4. Each of these figures currently command some different prices. My Defenders box set Luke Cage currently sells for about $40 on the aftermarket. Of course, I'm talking about things like eBay or private Facebook sellers, things like that. So he did come from a box set of 4 figures, and to get him by himself, right now you're looking at 40 bucks. Our new Power Man is going to run you $25 if you can find him new. He keeps popping up online on places like Amazon and Hasbro Pulse. I do believe he tends to sell out, so if you're looking at places like eBay to get him, you might be paying a bit of a premium. But otherwise, if you can find him online, which I did, I got mine off Hasbro Pulse, you're looking at spending $25. Because of that, I'm going to say that our 4th round goes to our new Luke Cage, because it's just a little easier to get at the moment, and probably going to be a little cheaper for you as well. Finally, as always, my 5th round, my last round, is about my display compatibility. Now, here's the thing. Part of me in my brain will look at the Defenders Luke Cage and go, that's a serious looking Luke Cage. I like that. But I can't say that the original costume isn't any valid or less valid, especially when I'm going to, you know, stand them on a shelf next to people who are dressed in red and blue spider pajamas, or, you know, a ninja man who can have glowing fists, or, you know, a man who literally dresses as the devil. This is, of course, the new Daredevil. But saying that, like, one costume is more serious than another seems silly to me. It's a weird thing, you know, like, I don't think Luke Cage needs to have a non-silly costume. I've gotten very used to him in recent years of Luke Cage being in just, like, kind of street clothes, a t-shirt and jeans, things like that. That is how they've been drawing him. There have even been figures of him in that kind of look, whereas the original Power Man look, it does have some cheesiness to it, but, you know, with the tiara and the chain belt, but it still looks really cool. Now, I'm going to take Spider-Man and Daredevil away for a second because I want to focus on Iron Fist. Iron Fist and Luke Cage being heroes for hire. Right now, I don't have the old Toy Biz Iron Fist in my collection anymore. Actually, he fell apart, if I'm being honest. His leg joints came, or the waist joint, like, crumbled, and his legs fell off. So I only have 2 of the Hasbro Iron Fists. I have this one, I have the shirtless one, also from this Defenders set in my collection. If I was going for a strictly modern display, this Luke Cage pairs very well, very nicely with this Iron Fist. But if I'm looking for like the most iconic looks of these guys, maybe the most well-known comic ones, it's probably going to be this Luke Cage. Now, I would love to have him pair with a classic Iron Fist, you know, big puffy collar, and I guarantee one's coming. I'm honestly shocked that Power Man and Iron Fist weren't in a 2-pack, but I'd bet money we're getting a new Iron Fist soon. I'm going to say within a year. We're probably going to get like a very classic Iron Fist with the, you know, the big open collar and the dragon tattoo on his chest. So, that means I have to declare a winner for our 5th round, and, you know, I'm going to go with the classic, maybe even the more iconic one on this one, and that would be our new Power Man. It's not that this old one is bad, or I'm sorry, it's not that the Defenders box set is bad. It's just, this is just a guy in clothes, where also a guy in clothes, but, you know, it has that flair to it, that recognizability to it. So, our new Power Man wins round 5, thus making him the overall winner of this edition of Which Is Better. Oh boy, so there we go. That was really a tough one to make the call on which is better. That last round for me, personally, one of the hardest rounds to go through. They're both great figures. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of both of them. I think I'll probably find a spot for both of them on my display. But that was a tough call for me. So what did you think? Which Power Man do you like better? Do you have another one in your collection that you like more? I know there have been a number of Luke Cage figures over the years. Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you like. And until next time, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. I'll see you around.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.